Welcome into the live stream, KCRG TV9. We are online, we are on YouTube, and we are in Albany. I'm Jack Lido, Chelsie Brown, and Scott Savel are over where the action is happening. Colorado and Iowa will face off in the Sweet 16 tomorrow at 2:30. Scott and Chelsie, you are in Albany. You got a chance to look at Colorado and at Iowa. What stands out about the two teams, and what kind of challenges do the Buffaloes pose to Iowa?
Well, number one, they have a lot of size. They will go 2 6'3" players on the floor at the same time. So Iowa, Hannah Stolke inside, that's tough for her to contain. So they might have to play two bigs tomorrow, Chelsie, at times.
Yeah, Sydney Falter kind of alluded to the fact that rebounding is going to be crucial in this matchup, especially the defensive rebounding is going to be huge, especially with just because Colorado's size inside. But they did say that facing West Virginia prior to this game will probably help them.
Got them ready.
Yeah, the physicality of it.
Yeah, because they will bring it Colorado. They're extremely quick, especially their point guard, and they will put pressure on Caitlin Clark not like no other. So Iowa knows that, so at least they know what to expect.
And then you got to stop the best player in the country, right?
Yeah,
Good luck, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think something that Colorado has that Iowa doesn't necessarily always have sometimes is the balanced scoring.
They do, unbelievable.
Right, so I think that's going to be key for Iowa, is they're going to need more than Caitlin to contribute.
Yeah, they had 6 players in double figures in their last game. Their leading scorer, 14 points a game, then it goes 12, 9, 13. I mean, very, very balanced, Jack.
Let's talk Caitlin Clark. She's the straw that stirs this drink. And as the stage gets bigger and bigger, Caitlin Clark seems to be handling all the attention quite well. How do you think she's handling it today in Albany as she gets all these questions from Albany media like us, and national media?
I thought she was great. When she came back into the locker room, she was absolutely mobbed by about 20 cameras. They had to make us scoot back a little bit because we were right on top of her. I felt bad for her, but it's like that now for Caitlin Clark, and she understands that.
Yes, it's like that everywhere you go. I was boxing out some Carolina, reporters and everything like that. We were just trying to get as close as we could to her because we've been following her journey for so long, but she does handle it really, really well. She has a lot of pressure on her, and I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, they say they relish the pressure and they like it, and it makes them play better. And they seem calm today and relaxed, and it seemed like they were in their element.
Practice, they were just, number one, they were making shots, which was great to see. Early on, we only got to see about 10 minutes of practice, but at the same time, they were smiling, they were having fun, they felt loose, and so it just felt like they were ready to be here.
Yeah, Jack, I think that run to the Final Four really helped Iowa get used to what's happening here in the Sweet 16 this year.
A subject that you touched on a lot in our newscast today is Caitlin Clark playing with fire, playing with passion. I think I know what I think you know what I'm alluding to. Maybe saying some words on the court that you wouldn't necessarily want your young daughter saying when she's on the court. But as a big conversation topic, I know it was this week. Frankly, it's been a conversation topic for over a year. I recall Chelsie and I doing stories on Clark trash talking and trash talk with other players. I'm curious, were those questions posed to Iowa players and Colorado players as far as like what they think about the passion that Clark plays with?
Yeah, both. I talked to the Colorado players, and one of their bigs said she really respects Caitlin Clark and understands how she acts on the court. She thinks it's a double standard with the guys because a guy acts out, maybe an official, or gets mad, and nobody says anything. When Caitlin Clark does it and the women do it, then everybody's like, oh, she's acting bad. So obviously there's a double standard there, and they respect Caitlin Clark, and they understand that. And then Caitlin says, hey, that's what fires me up. That's what gets me going, and I'm going to do that, play with passion.
Well, there's a reason why so many fans have fallen in love with the Iowa women's basketball team, have fallen in love with Caitlin. It's because of the way that she plays. And it is a double standard.
Yeah.
To think that women aren't sitting there trying to be as competitive as the men, get real. I mean, that is what fuels her. And I think something that Jan Jensen said today, too, is just that, you know, she's put on a pedestal like no other athlete is. And honestly, on the planet right now, and the way that she just handles it, and the way that she still is the same person that she was when they recruited her back in 7th grade. I mean, her core and her values are what stand out about being Caitlin and why she is playing at the level that she is and being the leader that she is. But she hasn't changed. She's been that same fiery 7th grader, and now she's a 22-year-old.
She has. You know, I followed her closely when she first came in. And the difference now is back when she was a freshman and a sophomore, when she would get upset on a call or something, it would affect her game. It does not affect her game. And Coach Bluter even went as far as saying that she doesn't have a problem when she shows the emotion as long as she doesn't get mad and it affects her game.
I did enjoy Coach Bluter let us in on a little secret about the technicals that they used to call on Caitlin in practice. I mean, that just kind of shows you that, like, even in a game scenario, even in practice, you're going to get the same Caitlin night in and night out.
I will say the first game of the tournament this year, she maybe went a little farther than she normally does, but she seems to have that under control in the second game.
You bet, yeah.
I would not want to play video games or checkers against Caitlin Clark. It seems like she's the same competitive person wherever she is. So we'll move off Clark for a second, because I know you guys were referencing this earlier. It isn't going to be Caitlin Clark, or all Caitlin Clark. If Iowa scores 100 points, I can promise you Caitlin Clark isn't going to score 91 of them. There's going to be other people stepping up on offense and on defense. From the people you've talked to, what non-Caitlin Clark Hawkeyes are you looking for in order for the Hawkeyes to win the Sweet 16 matchup and move to the Elite Eight?
Well, one thing, I think Hannah Stolke can take advantage of their bigs. They're not fast, so she can beat them down court and get easy fast break baskets. So that's one area. And then the thing with Iowa, someone is always going to be open. So you just have to hit those open shots.
Right, and I did a story with Sydney Falter earlier this week, and I think she's been so crucial. I mean, she is so physical. She is so tough. She's going to need to help Hannah on the boards, especially. And then also just her driving. She loves to drive to the hoop and take it to the hoop. She's going to need to do that. But then she could shoot the 3-ball, too. I think she could be an X factor.
Yeah, if you watch that three-point play she made that was crucial when the game was tied, Caitlin Clark's waving her hands, give me the ball, give me the ball. We lost our lights, but give me the ball. And she didn't look at her because she had an open lane and had the confidence to take it right to the basket.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, that's going to be helping on rebounding, but we also did see Molly Davis a little bit on the sideline. She was actually dressed today. She was working out. I don't know if she is going to be a go, but that's good to see, potentially, if they do make a run, you know, down this tournament, because, I mean, her vision of the court and the way that she can pass the ball has really been key for Iowa this season, and so I know they missed that aspect of her game.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if she plays this weekend, but down in the Final Four. You know, it's dinner time, so I think that's why they turn the lights out on us.
I'll give you guys a second if you want. So we've got it pulled up on just me, so if you guys want to turn over and adjust the iris on your camera right now, if you'd like. The video stream does not.
I think it's all the way up.
Okay, sorry, we're getting a little inside baseball for the folks watching at home. Let's talk about Albany because
we're good now.
You guys look good from my end, so we're going to see you in just a second. Here we go. So we see Scott and Chelsie in MVP Arena in Albany. Guys, what's the environment like? We just saw a South Carolina win by the edge of Dawn Staley's chinny chin chin. I mean, that's a tough one. Terry Morton in Indiana did a great job of pushing them to the brink. What's the environment like in Albany, just in terms of the women's basketball fans as well as the Hawkeye fans? The main question is it going to look like Carver Hawkeye East?
I think it's going to look like Carver Hawkeye East. You know, they just came out a little while ago after the South Carolina game, and there were a lot of Hawkeye fans in there watching that game that said, we can't wait for tomorrow. We'll be back. We're so excited. So I think there's going to be a pro-Hawkeye crowd tomorrow. Obviously, there's some locals and a few from the other team, but Iowa fans seem to know how to get the tickets. That's what I'm amazing. They have a lot of money, obviously, but they seem to know how to get the tickets.
Yeah, I mean, and you just mentioned the fact that all the Hawkeye fans coming, but we've even heard from arena staff too, how many people are coming just to see Caitlin Clark, see her in person. Obviously, this is new for them, but I mean, all season, this team has sold out arenas. We're talking from Minnesota to Maryland. They sold out in Maryland. You know, I think they're going to be okay in Albany.
Yeah, when we first got here, I watched the local news, and they were interviewing people on the streets about what they were excited about. This tournament, everyone was Caitlin Clark. We just want to watch Caitlin Clark play. We're so excited that she's coming to our city.
Isn't that fun? Because in most NCAA tournaments, you're going to have the lower seeded team or the worst seeded team get most of the love from the fans because everyone loves an underdog. The difference is Caitlin Clark just breaks every law of sports because people root for her so much wherever she goes. We've got just time for a little bit more. I'd like to go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think tomorrow there's going to be a few fans, mostly LSU fans that play in the game before. If they can stick around at all, they probably will not be cheering for Caitlin Clark.
No, not at all. But we did see some on our plane, so we know that they're down here.
Yeah.
We saw some leave the arena. So I mean, it's just basketball fans, and it's great to see them here.
And I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, we can't wait," for that Iowa LSU game. And I'm like, wait a minute. They both have really hard games because LSU has to be an UCLA team that I watched practice today. They're the tallest women's basketball team I have ever seen. They have giants. So it's not going to be easy for LSU tomorrow.
That's incredible.
Or Iowa to beat Colorado.
But the idea of people just penciling in, oh, we've got this great matchup coming up in the Elite Eight. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
With the way women's basketball can go, I'll give you guys a chance to say one more thing if you'd like, and I'll tee you up like this. Both of you have been covering this team longer than I have, and to think about the cardboard cutouts that were in Carver Hawkeye Arena during Caitlin Clark's freshman year, and to think about the crowds that were certainly big, but not quite as big as this when Megan Gustafson and Kathleen Doyle were rocking Carver Hawkeye Arena. How cool is it for you guys to see the support that this team and this sport is getting in a place like Albany where it's 1,000 miles away from Carver Hawkeye Arena?
Yeah, it's amazing. I remember the days when they had to put down black curtains because they couldn't fill Carver Hawkeye Arena for women's games. But, Jack, I've never covered a story like this ever, covering sports in over 40 years. I've never seen a person become so popular so fast like Caitlin Clark and how she has changed the sport. Tiger Woods, we talked about that with golf. But what she's done for not just women's basketball, but all women's sports, and the excitement she brings is just remarkable.
I echo that. I too remember the black curtains in Carver, which is why I think every time I'm back in there, and I think Lisa Bluter does this a lot too when she, is getting ready and they're watching their team intro video, is just take a look around and just take it all in because it is so special. It is so phenomenal. I always make sure that I kind of do that as well when I'm there in the arena, but I do echo. I've never seen a college athlete just become the most popular person on the planet, quite literally. Everyone wants to know anything and everything about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, if you'd asked me 4 years ago if this would happen, I'd say you're crazy. There's no way this would happen, but boy, she's so special. She's changed everything.
Yeah, guys, just take a look around, and for the viewers watching at home, take a look around because you're never going to see anything exactly like this. I sure think we're going to see something a little bit like this because the next Caitlin Clark is in 5th or 6th grade learning how to dribble a basketball. But in terms of the Clark effect, Clark mania that's going on right now, you're going to see nothing like it. Scott, Chelsie, thank you so much for your time. We're going to have similar coverage right here on KCRG.com and the KCRG YouTube page for the pregame show at 2 o'clock tomorrow. That's right before the game starts over on KCRG TV9 between Colorado and Iowa. And then we'll have post-game coverage as well. Scott, Chelsie, thank you for joining me. For all the folks at home watching, thank you as well. Enjoy your night in Albany. Chelsie and Skaggsy, know you've got a long one tomorrow.